Hey, this is Desiree for Side Eye Cinema. So there's this little moment right at the end of Brian Forbes' 1975 Gothic thriller, The Stepford Wives, that stuck with me for years. It's this really brief moment, but it comes right after we've seen the film's heroine, Joanna Eberhardt, get cornered by her robotic replacement. And the moment I'm thinking of happens in the supermarket with all of Stepford's mechanical women gliding through the aisles in this bizarre choreography of heterosexualized white hyperfemininity and empty pleasantries. Suddenly we come across the town's newest residents, the first Black folks to live in Stepford, as they fight about domestic chores and they're not even in focus. We first hear about this family maybe halfway through the film, but then don't see or hear about them again until the end of the movie.
Have you heard? It's just spreading like wildfire. A Black family is moving into town. Oh. Think that's good? I think it's good. Well, I don't know if I think it's good so much as I think it's natural. Considering, after all, we are the most liberal town around.
Stepford? Liberal?
Well, sure. We have the first Chinese restaurant in Fairfield County.
Ah, yes.
And what's significant about this moment for me is it seems like the film is telling us that Linda is next on the Stepford Men's Association's list of home improvement projects. I mean, we just witnessed the sudden transformation of Joanna's friends, Charmaine and Bobby, into these mindless, submissive housewives.
They change once they get there. I think the men make them change.
How would they do that?
I don't know. They... Oh, Jesus. It's so awful. If I'm wrong, I'm insane. And if I'm right, it's worse than if I'm wrong.
So it comes as no surprise when we see Joanna change from a talented, emerging photographer and consciousness-raising feminist into this tragic figure whose discovery of this sleepy suburban community's dark side comes way too late.
Why?
Why? Because we can.
In the book, Linda is named Ruth Ann, and we see her and Joanna bond over being new to Stepford. We also get to know how she thinks and feels about the women of Stepford, because the book gives us insights into her interiority that the film doesn't. And so I guess what's scary to me about the film is how lonely Linda's going to feel when she realizes that something is really wrong with the women in Stepford. And I wonder if she'll attribute the strangeness of Stepford to what bell hooks later called white supremacist capitalist patriarchy to describe the ways that gender, class, and racial hierarchies intersect. I also wonder how long it'll be before Linda's husband tries to gaslight her the way that Joanna's husband did.
And stop telling me I'm crazy.
And I wonder who will notice when she's gone. But rather than focus on all these things, sometimes I prefer to imagine that Linda gets away, that she gets out.